It's a tough pick, but I think I'm going to go with the Lightning and Martin St. Louis, of course, to win the Eastern Conference. You? Okay, if I'm being totally honest, and I mean totally honest, I haven't decided yet. The first round of the 2011 NHL playoffs was amazing. A symphony of the sport, if you will. It was so layered and complex and deep, yet brought back to base level with the one simple notion that winning is the only thing that matters. And if the first round was a symphony, Mozart himself couldn't have done a better job. The second round was a little closer to the Black Eyed Peas. The Flyers need goaltending, the Sharks are choking. I've heard the song before, turn it off. It even had Fergie in it, talking about former Toronto Maple Leafs general manager John Ferguson Jr., now with the San Jose Sharks. So let's talk about them, the only series to go 7 games in the second round, the San Jose Sharks against the Detroit Red Wings. Alright, this is Henrik Zetterberg, and this is the San Jose Sharks after 3 games. But if the 2011 playoffs have taught us anything, it's that having the lead sucks. And here's something you won't learn on the Discovery Channel. Sharks have a gag reflex. I don't know if that's true. But the Sharks from San Jose certainly do, and to Game 7 we go. The Sharks obviously very relieved to defeat the Red Wings in Game 7, a very depleted team in Detroit. Because, I thought the NHL was actually trying to do something to take headshots out of the game. Well, it's obviously BS because they didn't include a clause that says you can't headshot your own teammate. But I learned a few things from this series. 1, Antti Niemi doesn't know how to lose a playoff series. 2, if Nicholas Lidstrom does in fact retire, it's just because he's bored. And 3, without Sidney Crosby playing in these playoffs, Pavel Datsyuk might be the best hockey player alive. The backhand goal in Game 7, that wasn't necessary. But the San Jose Sharks, much like the Vancouver Canucks before them, cough up a 3-0 lead but end up winning the series. Speaking of which, the Vancouver Canucks and the Nashville Predators. The Canucks are mean, not because they complain about the officiating when it's not going their way. Not because they embellish on plays that would make the World Cup blush. But they made Carrie Underwood cry! And that is just mean. But a few things to learn from the series. 1, Vancouver was the better team. 2, Nashville wasn't far behind. Pecorine. And 3, Shea Weber's beard is made of the hair from manes of lions that he hunted for sport, armed only with a puck and hockey stick. And a little side note, they cannot ban the green man. What are you gonna do? 2 minutes for having fun? In fact, I'll go a step further. It's only the conference finals. The Canucks haven't won anything yet. But if the Canucks do in fact win the Stanley Cup, the green men should be allowed to lift it. I'm so serious. Look at my face. I'm going to move on to the East because I can't breathe. Well, hello there. So let's talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Washington Capitals. I know the Washington Capitals were the better team in the regular season, but it just didn't translate to the playoffs. Didn't play as a team. They had weak spots and they ended up losing. Now let's talk about Boston and Philly. I know the Philadelphia Flyers were the better team in the regular season, but it just didn't translate to the playoffs. They didn't play as a team. They had weak spots and they ended up losing. You forgot to say they were both sweeps. I got greedy. What I learned from the Philly-Boston series is that Philly needs goaltending. Well, it's been that way for a while now. It's kind of like relearning. Like how I had to read To Kill a Mockingbird in grades 7, 9, and 11. And while Philly needs to address their goaltending, Washington needs to address their not folding in the playoffs. But let's talk about the conference finals, shall we? Now we got a battle between the San Jose Sharks and the Vancouver Canucks. 2 teams that throughout recent history and including these playoffs say, please don't believe in us ever. Hey look, we're doing great in the playoff. 3-0 lead out the window. But whether it's the Sharks or the Canucks, one of these notoriously underachieving playoff teams has a shot to play in the finals and win the Stanley Cup. I think the Canucks are going to take this one because A, they've played the same amount of games, but the Canucks have had more rest. And B, if you want to look at it this way, the Sharks have lost 3 of their last 4 games. But you never know. Antti Niemi has won 6 playoff series in a row. Boston and Tampa, they both killed it in the semifinals. And what's crazy about that is both of them could have been playing better. Boston's power play has been pretty, and Tampa's got one of the deadliest scorers in the league in Steven Stamkos. And really, he hasn't done that much yet. I'm going to go ahead and take Tampa because just to me, they've shown less weaknesses. That's what you think? Yeah, it is. Well, you think like a dummy. Okay, what are your predictions, folks? Of course, there's not just NHL playoff hockey. There's also the Memorial Cup that's coming up real quick. And Game 7 between the Owen Sound Attack and the Mississauga Majors. I know it says Toronto. In Game 7 of the OHL Final. There's Daryl Boyce and Cal Clutterbuck, and if you look, oh, no, it's this way. Is this with Timmy Brandt, the captain? I will certainly be going. I hear it's a sellout. And last item I want to talk about, I never, ever like talking about this stuff, but as all of you know, I'm sure, Derek Boogaard of the New York Rangers has passed away. It's obviously a huge tragedy. Died way too young at age 28. And unfortunately, I never got the pleasure of meeting Derek, but a writer that did obviously build a relationship with him, check it out in the Underbar, wrote a very nice article about Boogaard. I think you'll like it. Because it's not meant to be sad. It's looking at the guy he was. It's a celebration, really. So final question. I used to just stay up on YouTube and watch Derek Boogaard beating up on guys. I don't know why I liked it so much. Todd Fedoruk broke his face what was your favorite Derek Boogaard memory? I know mine was in 2007, a game in Minnesota between the Wild and the Ducks, and all the fans start chanting his name. I'll put that in the underbar too. It just gives you chills. So let me know. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the third round of the playoffs, and please cherish the people you're watching it with.